guys, welcome back to the channel where we are checking out NFT games, and tonight we are looking at Illuvium. So if you heard the absolute craziness that is going on Discord right now, Kieran kind of shared a little bit earlier with Vulcan that the land prices are pegged too low, and there is going to be an increase in the land prices with the initial prices coming out and the effect that we're seeing from the SILV. So a lot of people know going with the synthetic illuvium, so the SILV, it's running right now, I think around $600 a token. We've seen it go down dramatically since this news has come out that the SILV. So if you're holding on to 2 or 3 tokens, thinking it's going to be, $4,000 to $6,000 for that, you're going to easily get a tier 1. The prices are going to be updated, guys. We don't know exactly what they're going to look like. We're waiting for the updated price structure. So where, a tier 4 was around the $86,000 to $90,000 range, it might be 120, 140, 150, which I think for the SILV individual that is purchasing it, they're going to need a lot more tokens. Now, if you're purchasing the land with Ethereum, the land price is just going to be that much higher when it comes to buying out the land, because now you got to come up with $150,000 of Ethereum versus the discounted price you got of SILV. And that also takes into account, or really doesn't take into account, what the price of Ethereum is going to be in January and what the price of SILV is going to be when it comes to the actual land sale and what it's going to look like. So in today's video, again, not too much information, but I'm going to go over the land itself. There's some very cool things. We know the land is coming out on the Illuvidex. So Johnny shared quite a bit with us today. And again, I know a lot of the community is up in arms because of sharing the land prices. And we're going to have to see where it comes in, where tier 1, I believe, was at 0.5 Ethereum. So if it's coming in at 1 Ethereum, you're talking $4,400 to $4,600 right now. But if it's going higher, if it's 1.5, if it's 2, you're talking starting tier 1 land at $6,000 to $8,000, which to me is very high, because I know it is kind of a double-edged sword. And we were talking about it again earlier, is that the average player, putting a couple grand into a game is a significant investment. And we know how much land has went in other games. Splinterlands was $20, Axie Infinity was $300. And here we're talking thousands, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars for land. Now, not saying that the same aspect isn't there with the value of the land and what we're going to get from the land. That is yet to be seen, but it just seems like the prices are a little bit higher. And I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit higher versus it being 2x, 3x, whatever it may be. But we ultimately know the starting price, or we did know the starting price, and now we don't. But let's go ahead and take a look at the land and what exactly it's going to look at. And this is, again, with the Illuvidex, it's showing the land and really my plan for what we're going to have going on during this land sale. The first thing here, of course, we have to look at are the regions, guys. We know there's 7 regions. We've seen this from the beginning, but ultimately each region, and you're going to have to pick the region that you're going to be in. And that is why I wanted to share this first. You're going to pick the region, and then you're going to pick the tier within the region that you're looking for. So looking here, and again, this could always change. Everything in here could change, but just looking at hydrogen, for instance, there are 2 hydrogen nodes. There are 2 silicon nodes with the Crystal Shore. I'm not sure if this has ever been revealed, what affinity it is going to have, but we have 2 hydrogen, we have 2 silicon, we have 3 carbon. Now, we're going to break down and look at the fuel in a little bit and look at the resources. So you can see out of this that we are going to have more carbon than anything. I'm not sure if they work that into the consumption rates, because hydrogen we have 2, silicon we have 2, and then again, carbon we have 3. Now, when it comes to the actual illuviums, it shows kind of what type, what affinity that is within the land. So we got water, nature, earth, fire, water, air. So right there, we have 2 double waters, and both the abyssal basin is hydrogen. The sea is hydrogen with water, which makes me think if the land is broken up even between the 100,000 squares, there could be a possibility that those 2 lands, particularly the Halcyon Sea and the Abyssal Basin, might not be as rare as some of the other lands. And I'm really hoping that is not the case, just for the simple fact that they have the same resources and the same affinity, where here you might only have one of nature, earth, and fire, one of air, and again, unknown with the crystal shore. But ultimately, I look at the rarity of the land and think which one is going to be kind of the trade-off for this one, because then the 3 carbons are built up of the Brightland Steppes, the Shard Bluff Labyrinth, and of course, Tangi Boreal, which is carbon. We have 3 carbons in there. So overall, I think the water affinity or this fire affinity, the Crimson Waste, Silicon, we have 1 of 2. Fire, that's the only one we have. This is the one that I'm going for. The Crimson Waste has actually been the one that I've been kind of targeting before. And it's not going to let me do anything with it, but that's what I've been kind of targeting before. So looking here just at a couple other things. These are the resources, guys. So again, based on the elements, these are going to be things that we're using to produce other things, to level up buildings, things of that nature. But when it comes down to the fuel is going to be the important part. And I want to zoom in a little bit onto this because I want you to see where we can actually move around, because the big thing is going to be right down here where you can see almost where the camera is. So when you look at Solon, Hyperion, and Krypton, you can see what they are used for. And to me, that is going to be a really, really big thing that players are looking at, because when you look at the land, when you're looking at the tier 4 here, but looking at the fuel itself, these are for shards, dimensions, and capture. That is right, guys. To catch alluvials, you are going to have the Hyperion fuel, meaning that is going to be, in my opinion, very, very sought after to capture those alluvials. And then, of course, travel. Travel is going to be the other thing. To me, these seem to be the 2 biggest fuel consumptions that we have. Equipment forging, we don't know exactly how effective or how important the equipment forging is going to be. But it seems like these are going to be 2 of the fuels that are utilized a ton. Equipment forging, especially, that might come later on. It might come, a little bit later within the game. But again, this is all up for debate. It's all, nothing in this game right now is concrete without the game being out. But I really think that these 2 are going to be the most important fuels, which are the Hyperion and the Krypton. So hopefully you get a land with those on there. Now, looking at this, if you guys have not seen the pixelated drawings before, this is what the actual land looks like. So when you break the land into pixels, we've seen it with Axie Infinity, we've seen it with a bunch of other ones. This is actually what the land looks like. So a lot of them, it'll be, the light is the open land, the green is the own land. We've seen it with Sandbox. A lot of other games have this same kind of pixelated picture of what it kind of looks like. So when you're looking at a specific region, when you're going to build something out, this is essentially the data, the plot, the whatever you want to call it, of where the land is going to be. But then we look at the Alluvidex, guys. So this is the Alluvidex. So Alluvium, Alluvidex, this is what it's going to look like when you're doing the land sale, when you have the Alluvitars, when you have the Alluvials. This is going to be the marketplace where everything is sold, which is awesome. So this is the test. This is what part of what Johnny leaked today. It is very cool to see. So this is the actual map. So here it is, guys. And this is, I think, the first reveal or the first time that I've ever seen the actual map. You can see it broken into the 7 different sections here, which is awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not sure what this is. You can see almost like a little pathway going to there, but not sure exactly, because if those are the 7 sections, you can kind of see the lines that do divide these where they're going to be. But ultimately, it is very cool looking. And you can hide the map up here, because when you look down here, guys, these are going to be the plots. So you can see here are the plots of land, and you can also see the build out. So my thought on this one is looking a little bit closer at one of these plots, which will go right down here. For instance, this pink one. So this pink one is going to be a tier 3 plot. So that is right, guys. And then it shows the actual makeup. So this is where the RNG factor comes in. So we know the plot, we know the tier, and we know the location of it. This one is in the Halcyon Sea. We know the location of it, which is what I'm looking for. So like I said earlier, I would be looking for the Crimson Waste because that's where I want to buy a piece of land. It shows you the price over here, which is in Ethereum. Not sure if it's going to show it in SIOV or if it's just going to show it in Ethereum. But ultimately, this is the makeup, guys. So the nodes within there are randomly generated. That is right, guys. They are randomly generated. For instance, here's a tier 1. It could be the yellow is the fuel. These are your 3 resources. That'll be the plot. So when you actually buy now, when you mint this NFT, this is what it is going to look like, guys. This is the pixelated drawing of what it is actually going to look like. When you look at a land, look at a T5, boom, you can see how many nodes are within this T5. It has, you know, the world, you can filter by the zone, you can sort by a bunch of different things. Johnny said this is very, very in depth on exactly what you're looking for. So if I'm looking for a certain tier within a certain area, or if I'm looking for, you know, let's say a tier 3 or tier 4, I can pull up what land I want it to be in, and then we can go from there. And depending, I believe the location will depend on the color, because you can see down here a tier 2 is all in blue. The tier 5 again has the shade. So I don't think there's any duplicates. Tier 1, 5, no. And I'm thinking again, like a tier 5 is going to be this rainbow color. Tier 1 might just be this darker kind of bluish purple. But ultimately, you can see the makeup, and you're going to be able to see what's on there. Now, one thing that I do not know, and I think this is going to be revealed to us, I think, is on this Illuvidex, as you can see. So right here we have 1, 2, we have 3 nodes, or we have 4 in total. We know 3 are resources, 1 are fuel. I don't know if the color signifies anything, and that's something I was trying to get some clarity on, because if the color does signify something, you could look at a piece of land prior to buying it, and let's say again this little yellow node here signifies, you know, one of our pieces that we see on here. So let's say, for instance, the yellow signifies Solon in there. Then when you get here, you can see it has 1 Solon right there. And again, building out what you want to, or if it's just going to be completely RNG, because if there's a couple where I have here possibly 3 different resources, or if there are going to be ones of the same color, which we see over here with the tier 3. We have the green one right there, a green one, a yellow one, a yellow one. Again, I'm not sure if these are going to be coded or if we're going to have access to what the colors within the NFT itself means. So we know kind of the build, and it seems like they are super random, guys, trying to build an entire town around this super random resource generation. It's going to be pretty interesting, but that's exactly what it's about. So this is a sneak peek again of the Illuvidex. I love it. I think it's going to be very cool. You're going to have everything kind of in one place. This is actually something that Illuvium built themselves. So we know it is going to be of the highest quality. You can even see the picture there, guys. It's absolutely amazing. But when you get in here, I'm not sure if the Illuvidex is going to be up prior to the land sale, or exactly how many people it's going to be able to hand over the land sale. But essentially, you'll log into the Illuvidex, you connect your wallet, you come down here, I click on my tier 3, boom, I click my buy now, and that is it, guys. It will go through the transaction. A lot of people are worried about the gas that we're going to incur trying to get these, especially if you have multiple people buying these at the exact same time, which is the reason I feel like a lot of the prices are going to go much higher. Again, not going to know what tier we're going to fall in or what the prices are going to look like until they send out the redrafted or the re-released protocol so we can actually take a look at it. So guys, that'll do it for tonight's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Very cool to see the map and the Illuvidex that is coming. The Illuvitars are on the Alluvials are in there. So this is actually going to be the trading spot for everything when it comes to Illuvium. So again, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.